Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel, people. Make sure you lot are smashing up the likes as always. Make sure that you're subscribing to the channel. Like I keep saying, road to 10K, people. We're going to get there. You know what I'm saying? And people, I'm back home after an early start. You know what I'm saying? Traveled up to Leicester today. First game of the weekend, people. And I kept telling you lot, we need to make sure that we leave Leicester with all 3 points, right? Because I can't be sitting there the rest of the weekend trying to hate watch after my club hasn't been able to do their job. You know what I'm saying? After I left the ground, I was watching the Arsenal game in my car. Yeah, I had them on. They played very well, in all honesty, right? I say, cool, that hate watch flopped. Let's move on to the next team, Man City. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing these man pamming Spurs. You know what I'm saying? Doing what they were doing to Spurs. Before you know it, sucker punch, Madison, twice. Before you know it, Pedro Porro. Before you know it, Werner to Johnson in the last minute. 4-0 away from home, bro. That's what, 5 losses for Pep. It's the first time in his career he's had 5 losses in a row now. Yeah? It's not looking good for Man City right now. And like I said to Matisse weeks ago, big up Matisse on the panel, big up everyone else. I told them, look, I smell blood this year, right? Because Arsenal have got a small squad and they keep picking up injuries. Man City are missing Rodri and they keep picking up injuries. You know, the only serious team I'm looking at really right now is Liverpool. They're the ones that have been the most convincing. Yeah. And right now, as it is, we're 6 points behind Liverpool. You know what I mean? We're on the same level of points as Arsenal. And now the goal difference has gone down as well because, you know, they scored 3 goals today, which is why it's a bit annoying that we only beat Leicester by 2 goals today because, or beat them 2-1 even. I wanted to see more goals. I'm going to break down the game, people, because, again, for me, in attack, we could have been a lot better. We get ourselves in so many dangerous positions. This is what I'm saying. What Maresca's doing is working to get us in dangerous positions. But time and time again, I keep talking about the same thing in terms of the movement in the box, in terms of the final ball, in terms of the crosses. You know what I'm saying? But today, going into the game, you know, I was very surprised to see Neto wasn't in the squad because I thought he would be fit at least for the game, even if it's on the bench. You know what I mean? And obviously, Gusto was ill. That's something that you can't predict that. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, Fofana went right back. It was nice to see Badiashile in the lineup. And then obviously you had Felix coming in. And I thought Felix would be playing left wing, which technically he was. But when you actually watch the game, the shape that we had in possession was actually a diamond, right? So it was playing a sort of back three. You had Caicedo at the bottom of the diamond. You had Enzo Fernandez playing on the right, which was good. You had Palmer in the 10 and Felix in the left. And that midfield there, that little connection, that little triangle, yeah, or diamond, right? It was very, very fluid, you know, was keeping the ball well. Leicester weren't really pressing us like that, to be fair, but was keeping the ball well, was looking very dangerous. Every time I was attacking in that first half, was looking dangerous. I'm seeing Felix trying to get warm. You know, I'm seeing Felix doing the same sort of things that he was doing when we finished 12 people, yeah? Because he was our version of Cole Palmer back then. He wasn't getting the end product, but he was the one that was looking at back then to say, yo, he's our shining light because everyone else right now is meaty, yeah? I thought he had a very good game today. And this myth about João Felix, you know, not being able to work hard off the ball, people. Let me just read a few stats, yeah, what he did today, because I've got my stats ready today, people. Yeah, because some of these lazy narratives and lazy agendas to just stop people from proving them wrong by getting more game time, they need to end. João Felix today won more duels, completed more take-ons, and made more tackles than any other Chelsea player in the first half, right? That was only in the first half. I'm seeing this guy from left to right, running from the left all the way to the right to win the ball back. And they've done it on multiple occasions as well. Sliding to win the ball back. In the tight areas, I'm seeing him just putting it through people's legs. Yeah? This is the sort of profile of player you want to be playing against a low block because he pushes people back. He wins you fouls, right? He can create for people. He's a menace outside the box. He can get you fouls in dangerous areas, right? Fantastic performance from Felix. And hopefully that should mean that Maresca will start to trust him a little bit more now because, again, we've got a heavy period coming up, a lot of games coming up, people. So we need to be using the squad. Like I said, I'm looking at Maresca very closely this period. I need to see you using the squad that we've got, bro. Yeah? Because we was missing some quality players today, but we still managed to bring in quality from the squad. That shows you how good the squad is. You know what I mean? You know, I thought Caicedo, you know, off the ball was good. He was winning the ball back for us. It wasn't his best game, but he wasn't shit. It was just a good game from him. You know what I mean? At the back, listen, Fofana playing right back today was brilliant, right? Not letting anyone breathe, right? As we know, not letting anyone breathe. Every time he was getting on the ball, he was just breaking the line, running with it, you know? And that for me shows that the last game that he played against Arsenal, which was his best performance for us this season, right? Goes to show that, you know, before that, he was still playing with a bit of a handbrake, because there's times I'm looking at him and thinking, yo, the old Fofana will try and run there. But when you're coming back from a big injury like that, people, you're second thinking yourself, because you're thinking, yo, if I run a certain way, I'm going to hurt my knee. If I jog a certain way, I'm going to hurt something. If I kick it a certain way, I'm going to hurt something, right? That's why for me, I can empathize with these footballers, because I've had injuries myself, especially my knee. I messed up my knee last year. It was peak, yeah? So Fofana right now, it was another performance where I can see that he's growing in confidence. You know what I mean? I think in the box as well, for the penalty that Mavididi tried to get, he was very smart. You know, the Leicester fans were booing him. He just, you know, he didn't care, bro. It looked to me like that fired him up to have a good game. I thought he was good today at right back. You know, Badiashile. I want to give some praise to Badiashile as well, because today, this is the Badiashile that I love. This is the Badiashile that I was seeing when he first came to Chelsea, people. Yeah? This is the confident, assured Badiashile who's able to just play the ball into nice spaces for the likes of Cucurella, punching it into the midfield for the likes of Felix, for the likes of Palmer today, for the likes of Enzo, right? Intercepting the ball and not being a bozo with no pressure. Because last year we played Newcastle in the cup game under minimal pressure. He just gave the ball to what's his name? Callum Wilson. Yeah. But today, I'm seeing man just stepping in front of people. I'm seeing him, you know, making sure that he's getting to the ball before Sanchez gets to the ball and just dealing with it comfortably. His weight of pass was very good today. You know what I mean? Brilliant performance from him. And I want to read a few stats from him as well. So Badiashile registered more successful passes, more successful final third passes, more successful ball recoveries, and more successful interceptions than any other player for Leicester or Chelsea, right? And if it wasn't for the next person I'm going to speak about, people, in Enzo Fernandez, then he would have been man of the match today. Sorry, I thought he was brilliant. You know what I mean? You know, overall in that first half, like I said, was controlling the ball a lot. Obviously, we score a goal, which was very, very tenacious from Jackson, because he made, I think he pronounced his name Fars. He made Fars panic, and you know, he kind of flicked it onto Enzo. Very, very good positioning from Enzo to get onto that and actually just flick it back to him. And if you look at Jackson before he scored the goal, he flicked it past the defender first, and for him to just hit it with the side of his foot, right? Brilliant finish. So many examples this season, people, where Jackson scored some very, very good goals. Very good goals, right? You can think of the goal against Liverpool. That was a very good finish. I didn't think that went in. I just see man running off celebrating, right? The goal against West Ham, very good finish. The goal today, very good finish. At the minute with Jackson, I'm not really finding myself speaking about missed chances. The issue that I've got with Jackson is getting in the box and your box movement, yeah? Because again, today I'm seeing Madueke getting the ball in some dangerous areas, but Jackson's nowhere to be seen, yeah? In the air as well, Jackson can definitely improve, because there was a few times today where we're crossing it in and he's not really getting his head on it. To be fair to him, for the second goal that we scored, he did get his head on it. Brilliant cross from Cucurella. Jackson gets his head on it and Enzo's there to bury it, right? But overall, I thought Jackson's performance today was good. You know what I mean? And just a few more stats with Jackson as well. Where is it? Let me bring this up here, people, yeah, because last season, this guy was getting cooked too much. All rivals wanted to focus on last season was the fact that he was missing a lot of chances. They kept ignoring the fact that he was still scoring goals, yeah? So only Erling Haaland and Ollie Watkins have scored more non-penalty goals in the Prem since the start of last season than Nicholas Jackson, yeah? While no player has scored more goals or been involved in more goals in away Premier League games this season. He's been cooking, yeah? The next step for him, like I've said, is he needs to improve his movement in the box. He needs to make sure that he gets himself in the danger zone where if anything's whipped across, he can just get his foot on it. He can just get his knee on it. He can just get his fucking toe on it, his chest on it. Something. You know what I mean? He needs to sniff. He needs to sniff goals. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be so obsessed with scoring goals that he's finding himself in so many different positions, right? But anyone telling you that Jackson's not improved is just lying to themselves. Yeah? He's one of the best strikers in the league right now. And he can still keep getting better. Still keep getting better because he's young, right? And that's props to Maresca, because he's the one that's training him right now. He's the one that's improving his finishing. Yeah? If you go look at his conversion rate as well, I keep talking about his conversion rate. Nicholas Jackson, at the minute, in terms of his conversion rate, is currently holding the highest rate, which is 64.3% for shots on target for all top 30 Premier League goal scorers. Mo Salah has 63.6%, who's just behind him. Yeah? So right now, he's been very clinical in front of goal. That's exactly what we need from him. You know what I mean? But going into the midfield, I thought Palmer, was tidy. He set up a goal scoring opportunity when he played it to Cucurella and he got whipped across to Madueke. Obviously, that was offside. I thought we played all right today. It wasn't his, glamorizing performance or anything like that. But it wasn't a shit performance. It was a sort of normal. I would probably say just a good performance, really. You know what I'm saying? He created a few chances here and there. But overall, I think there was players who stood out a bit more, right? Players like Enzo Fernandez, yeah? Enzo Fernandez, people, today was definitely man of the match. He was everywhere, bro, making things tick, right? And what I really liked was the fact that Maresca put him in that right half space where for me, he actually looked a little bit more comfortable because when you're playing in the left half space before, it's a little bit different because he's not left-footed. So every time you see Enzo try to pick up the ball in that half space, before when he's trying to move it to his right foot, before you know it, guys are onto him. Yeah. So it's a little bit different in terms of the angles. Whereas today he just looked a lot more comfortable because he can just play it to Madueke on his right foot. He was crossing in the ball as well at certain times. He was just in the midfield as well. Like I said, he was dictating the game. The weight of pass was brilliant. There was a time where he got the ball in like the first phase. It just popped it through to Felix, and the weight of pass was brilliant because he just allowed Felix to take it first touch and help us attack. And for the goal as well that he scored, very good for him to sense that danger. You know what I'm saying? I don't like Enzo that far up, but today, obviously the confidence was on, and it was good for him to get in the box and crash the box and make sure that he finishes that. You know what I mean? So many assists that he's got this season so far. And on Enzo Fernandez, just to read a few of the stats here as well with him, right? So this was his game by numbers today, people. So 7 out of 9 duels won, 5 tackles, 5 touches in the opposition box, 5 times he won to get the ball, 3 chances created. You know what I mean? 1 goal, 1 assist. And people like to say that Enzo Fernandez isn't good enough for the Prem. He's not physical enough for the Prem. To me, that's just a lazy narrative, people. Yeah? Lazy analysis, because Enzo, for me, yes, he might not be my best 11. He might not be a midfielder that I look at to be playing in the bigger games because he's not that physical, right? But anyone that's saying Enzo is useless, Enzo is a waste of money, I don't buy that shit, bro. Because end of the day, Enzo has a very, very sort of niche skill set that not a lot of players have, right? If you go watch Real Madrid right now, they're not playing well. They would love an Enzo Fernandez because he can spray the passes and replicate the role. Listen to what I'm saying, people, before people try to say, oh, you're saying he's like Cruz. Bro, his profile is similar to Cruz because he can spray the ball like Cruz, dictate the game, very good passing range, and that's exactly what he's showing today. In games like today, where most of the time the team's just sitting back, yeah, you need a player like an Enzo Fernandez to help unlock teams. And recently, when we haven't had him in the lineup, we have lacked a bit of creativity, people. You know what I'm saying? He just punches it straight away. His first thought all the time is to play it forward. And these passes might look basic to you, but bro, it keeps the ball ticking. Yeah, it makes sure that before the defender gets to that person, you're just playing it quickly, right? And that person, you can just peel off of them and get the ball back, and before you know it, you're whipping it in, right? All these little things. If you're analyzing what he brings to the game properly, you'll know that he's a key player for us, right? But people going on and oh, Enzo shit, sell him and that. I'm like, bro, like, what do you mean sell him? We've got so many games. We're going to be playing so many of these teams. He's creative, right? He knows how to dictate games. We need him. Doesn't mean he has to start every single game. Same thing as Lavia. Lavia doesn't need to start every single game, but he's a very important player for us. And same thing as Enzo Fernandez. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully there's people out there that love to crash it on him. I'm going to give him a bit of prop as well. Because one thing people need to learn to do is to be able to praise and criticize, right? Same thing as Noni today. Noni today, I thought was good initially, but then in the second half, very wasteful, right? And people have this thing, I know Ibrahim's going to be watching this. People have this thing because I've said Madueke is quite direct. If you listen to what I've said, I've always said Madueke is direct, but he needs to improve his end product. I've said that time and time again. If you go back to my streams in the summer, I was begging for Olise because he was straight away going to elevate our attack, right? Because he's not going to break down the attack as much as Madueke does, yeah? We got ourselves in so many dangerous situations time and time again. Madueke gets in the box time and time again, but the cutback is loose. You know, he's taking too long to pass it to someone. He's not shooting on his left foot. And it really baffles me because I see him doing the shooting practice for England. More time he's winning it. I see him doing extra practice and that on Instagram. Left foot, bending it. It comes to the game, I'm barely seeing it, bro. You know what I mean? He's very indecisive in the final third. He needs to improve. Yes, like I've said, the box movement from the players need to be better than what it is right now. But at the same time, there's times where he can sort of buy his time a little bit and then whip it in like what Neto does, you know. But right now, he's just not at that level. Yeah. For me, like I keep saying, people, Madueke is a squad player right now. Squad player. I was happy for Neto to start the game today. But like I said in my predicted lineup, I didn't think Maresca was going to drop him because Maresca really likes him. You know what I'm saying? So Madueke, like I said, he needs to keep improving. Like the shot that Palmer had, it wasn't his fault, man. Like, I'm behind the goal. It was hard for him to move. He tried to jump out of the way. Them things happen at times, innit? You know what I'm saying? But overall, listen, Madueke, he needs to keep improving his end products because right now, it's not it most of the time. You know what I'm saying? And I can say that. I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care about being right or wrong because I've never said his end product is A1. And that's exactly why I wanted Olise, you know? And that's why I'm looking at Esteval next season to say, yo, Noni, if you don't sort out your end product, Esteval in those positions is finding someone. He's either going to score or he's going to create for someone. Yeah? Just go check the numbers he's putting up in Brazil. Whether it's the Prem or not, that's a very physical league. Yeah, he gets battered every single time I watch this guy, right? So he needs to be careful. He needs to make sure that he improves his end product the same way that Jackson's improving his finishing. You know what I mean? But just to finish off, people, on Cucurella as well, I thought he was brilliant, man. I think Cucurella, listen, it was very nice at the end of the game. We were singing his song. He came to us. You can see he was a bit shy in that because the relationship with the Chelsea fans hasn't been the greatest. Like at the beginning, he was being booed. When you get subbed off, people would start cheering and that. Now he's one of our main players. Like he's a starter for me. He has to be starting at left back. That's his position right now. You know what I mean? Just bringing experience on that side, bro. I love him. I love Cucurella, bro. And the way he was just whipping in those crosses as well. That's what I kept telling people, you know, when they were saying about Cucurella, he doesn't know how to hold the touchline and that. And I said, bro, for me, I used to watch this guy doing this at Brighton. He literally created more chances than Chilwell and Reece James the season before. He left Brighton, right? And the reason why was because he was being instructed to do that. Under Poch, he wasn't being instructed to do that. Our left-hand side was very lopsided, which meant Cucurella was basically on a halfway line. But if you ask him to go further up, he can play that role. He was doing the exact same thing for Spain as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure. Did he get the assist in the final? In the Euros final? I think he got the assist in the Euros final as well, right? Cucurella, he is a brilliant player. And I'm glad that he's gotten over what happened before with the robbery of the house and the tonsillitis and that. You know what I mean? All the guys that he was playing with when we finished 12th, they didn't want to be there no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm so happy for him, man, because you can tell he's just a funny guy. He's a nice guy to have around. You know what I mean? He reminds me of like Jorginho and these guys. You know, Jorginho was a bit of a joker. Cucurella reminds me of that. You know what I'm saying? So another top performance from him. But listen, people, just to finish off, I don't want to talk too much about this guy because you don't know my thoughts on Sanchez. But once again, people, Jackson was shouting at him. Palmer was shouting at him. Cucurella was shouting at him. Colwill. You don't see these things on camera, people, right? But these lot right now, they feel the same way that we do when he's doing some fuck shit at the back. Because it's not good enough. There was a time when he gave the ball to Caicedo. Instead of hitting it with the side of his foot, he's kicked the ball to Caicedo with his studs. Some fucking shit hospital pass, right? And Caicedo got tackled. It wasn't really his fault because the way the ball came to him was so bad, right? I'm seeing Sanchez doing this to say sorry. Bro, what are you sorry for? Because you keep doing the same shit. You know what I mean? He's just not good enough. Yeah? I saw he got booked today. I don't know how many more yellows he needs, but please, bro, just get your other yellows so you can fucking get suspended, bro. I'm tired of watching this guy, bro. Yeah? I was behind the goal again today and I'm shouting at him. And I know he can hear me. Yeah? And then Jadon Sancho and Palmer came after. I said, yo, you man, tell him. I said, fucking tell him, bro. Yeah? I went too far from the pitch. I know he heard me. You know what I'm saying? But we move, people, man. We move. Maresca today, I thought the setup was good. In all honesty, it worked. That diamond, it definitely worked to beat Leicester. Apart from they had about 8 minutes in the first half where they were trying to ting, but they weren't doing anything. You know what I'm saying? And luckily for them, at the end, they got a penalty. Very reckless from Lavia. But listen, we controlled most of the game, and we had like 63% possession. We had like nearly 3 XG. They had like 1. They had 1 big chance. We had 4. You know what I mean? It was absolute domination of the game. You know, I would have liked to have seen more goals, like I've said. I want to be stat padding against these teams. but we move. We collect all the 3 points. We've got Aston Villa next, people. Need to make sure that we're winning that game, making sure that we're righting our wrongs from last season as well, because they came to the bridge last year and they collected all 3. You know what I mean? For that game, I was fucking there as well. So we need to make sure, man. You know what I'm saying? But upwards and onwards, man. Enzo Fernandez today, brilliant. Badiashile today, fantastic. You know what I mean? Let's carry this on into the next game, man. But listen, people, let me know what you think of my thoughts. Let me know what you thought about the game today. Let me know who you thought your man of the match was, man. If it wasn't Enzo Fernandez, I'll be intrigued to find out who it was from you lot. But love, until the next one, people. See you on Blue Diaries, man. Bless.